Hey Sumner, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Poppy today. So the first thing we want to look at when we look at Poppy is her passive. This is what makes her so OP, and why she's still a 450 champion, I have no idea. Her passive states that any damage that's dealt to Poppy that exceeds 10% of her current health is reduced by 50%. If we have, let's say, 100 health, and Ashe is attacking us for 200 AD, what we want to do is we want to take 10% of our current health. It's going to be 10. Subtract that off of what we're getting attacked by. So we're going to have 190 that's going to be hitting us. And then divide that by 2, and that's going to be 95. So what we should have been getting hit with is 200 damage if we had no armor. But we're actually getting hit with 10 plus 95, or 105 damage. But what happens is that armor goes into effect before Poppy's passive does. So if we have 30 armor, which is a 23% damage mitigation, that reduces this 200 down to 154. And at 10% of our health, still being 100 health, so 10 damage, we're going to subtract 10 from that. Or we can just say 154 is going to go down to, we're going to take the initial 10 damage plus half of whatever's left over, 144, divided by 2 is going to be 82 damage. We're going to take 82 damage from this initial 200 damage. Poppy's Q is called Devastating Blow and is aptly named. What happens with this ability is when you activate it, it resets your attack timer, and the damage that it outputs is magic damage, but it scales off of your AD and AP. The damage for it goes like this. It's 8% of the opponent's maximum health, plus your attack damage, plus 60% of your AP, plus some bonus damage based on the level. It starts out at 20 and goes up to 100. The cap for this, the bonus damage though, is 375, but you're probably not going to be capping out on that unless you're hitting somebody that has 4,000 health. Aside from the fact that this scales off of the opponent's maximum health, it also applies on-hit effects, so things like Sheen are really good for Poppy. You build that into Trinity Force or Iceborne Gauntlets and you're going to be hitting like a truck. And because it scales off of AP, you could build something like a Lich Bane and just become an AP assassin. Poppy's W ability is called Paragon of Demacia. What this does is it gives you passive stacks of armor and attack damage, up to 35 at max rank, and when you activate it, it maxes out your stacks and gives you a 25% movement speed buff for the duration. The cool thing about this is because it has a passive ability, every time that you are hit or hit something, it refreshes the stack that you're currently on or adds it up to a max of 10 stacks. You'll find yourself using this a lot to get out of sticky situations, either chasing down champions, running away from champions, or setting up for a position to land your charge. E is Poppy's heroic charge. At its core, this is a push with a stun if you collide with terrain or minions. Occasionally you'll get a bizarre middle of the lane stun that don't count. What makes this ability so dirty is the damage is calculated at 2 separate instances, once when you hit a champion and then again after you collide with a wall. Because of this, if someone flashes once you've hit them, but before you hit the wall, they'll either be stunned after the flash, or you'll carry them back to where they flashed from. This ability is very useful as a gap closer, but you have to be careful because you carry the champion with you. If both you and an ally are chasing the same champion and you push the enemy champion away, it's possible that your ally will not be able to catch up. Poppy's ultimate, Diplomatic Immunity, makes people cry in this game. What it does is after a short casting time of selecting a single champion, you ignore all damage that comes at you except for that one champion. So you can use this one of two ways. You can pick a champion that's really weak and has no crowd control, so that you can use them to run away and just wreak havoc on the entire team, or what you can do is take advantage of the second part of this ability, which is a debuff applied to that target that gives you increased damage towards that target. So you can choose somebody that's tanky or a carry on that team and just burst them down for 40% more damage than you would normally put out. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my explanation of all Poppy's abilities and give her a try.